The snow that night lay untouched, smooth as silk, pure as light, a white blanket stretched across the world, breathing softly under the pale breath of the moon. And then, footprints appeared, not in a line, not from the road, not from the doorstep. They began in the middle of the yard, as if someone had fallen from the sky and then walked away into the darkness. But I was alone. I had been alone all evening. Yet there they were, footprints that shouldn't exist, and they were leading to nowhere. The wind carried a strange hum, like distant bells drifting from forgotten churches, the kind of sound that touches your spine before it reaches your ears. I stepped outside slowly. The air was cold enough to freeze my breath mid-sentence. The footprints were perfectly shaped. Deep impressions, clean edges, as though each one had been carved into the snow by invisible hands. They curved toward the old oak at the edge of the yard, then stopped abruptly, as if swallowed by the shadows. A silence settled, the kind of silence that feels like someone is watching. At 3:12 a.m., I woke to a soft thud against my window, a sound too gentle to be threatening, but too intentional to ignore. I pulled back the curtains, and I froze. The footprints were back. A new trail, fresh, sharp, leading directly to my window, but none leading away, as if someone had walked right up to the glass and vanished into thin air. The moon shimmered on the snow, but the yard felt darker than before, like a secret had settled into it. The next morning, sunlight made the snow sparkle like crushed diamonds. But something else sparkled too, beneath the oak tree. A small box, wrapped in deep crimson paper, a tiny silver ribbon tied with impossible precision. My heart thudded in my chest as I brushed the snow off it. The paper was dry, untouched by frost, as if placed moments before I arrived. A tag dangled from it, blank except for one thing: my name, written in handwriting I did not recognize. I hesitated. The wind whispered through the branches, and for a moment I felt watched. I opened the box. Inside was a delicate glass snowflake, but unlike any I had ever seen. Its tiny arms glowed faintly, pulsing with a soft blue light. And beneath it, a note: "He comes when snow remembers." A chill deeper than winter slid through me. That evening, I decided to follow the footprints into the woods beyond my yard. The forest was older than the town itself, a tangle of icy branches and forgotten stories. With each step, the world grew quieter. Even the wind held its breath. Every branch seemed to shift slightly as I passed, as if the forest itself leaned in to listen. The footprints led deeper, twisting between trees as if whoever made them did not walk, but drifted. Then I heard it, a melody, soft, slow, sad. A Christmas carol, but not one I knew. Its tune ancient, aching, woven with longing. The song seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. The footprints suddenly stopped beside a fallen log, but the song didn't. When I bent down to inspect the last print, something caught my eye. A second set of footprints. Smaller. Lighter. Appearing beside mine, one after another, as if someone were walking right next to me yet completely unseen. The snow depressed under each invisible step, forming prints in real time, moving slowly toward the deeper forest. My heartbeat stumbled. I followed them. The invisible footsteps matched mine, step for step, pace for pace, as though guiding me or leading me somewhere. The melody grew clearer, the notes trembling like fragile breath. As I hesitated in the clearing, the melody of the carol grew louder. Yet it carried a strange dissonance, like someone had slowed it deliberately. My eyes scanned the forest, searching for movement. And then I saw it. a shadow flitting between the trunks. Too tall to be an animal, too silent to be human. It paused just beyond the frost-covered bushes and seemed to watch me carefully, tilting its head as if curious. I held my breath, every instinct screaming to run, yet my feet remained frozen. The footprints at my side began to glow faintly, reflecting the moonlight in soft silver lines that pointed deeper into the woods. A sudden gust of wind carried the faint smell of pine and something else, something warm and familiar, yet impossible to place. My mind raced. Was it real, or just the forest playing tricks? The shadow moved again, closer this time, but whenever I blinked, it vanished. And in that brief instant of emptiness, I noticed another small ornament lying in the snow, an old, delicate bell, glinting as if it had been waiting for me. The footprints led past it, whispering their silent invitation. And though fear gripped me, I knew I had to follow. The footprints, glowing faintly in the moonlight, stretched onward, guiding me deeper into the forest, toward a place I had never glimpsed before, a place that seemed to be waiting for me. The trees opened into a small clearing. There stood a cabin, ancient wood, roof sagging under years of snow, windows frosted over like blind eyes. I had never seen it before. No one in the village ever spoke of it. Yet the footprints went directly to its door. The door creaked open slightly as if welcoming me. Inside, candles burned, their flames unnaturally still, not flickering despite the cold. A music box sat on a dusty table, its lid open, playing the same haunting carol I had heard in the woods. Next to it lay a faded photograph. A girl in winter clothes, standing beside the oak tree in my yard. The date on the back read December 24th, 1957, and the girl wore the same snowflake pendant I found in the box. My breath shuddered. The cabin whispered with memories not my own. Something in her eyes, frozen in that old photograph, looked uncannily like a fear I had felt myself. A soft creak from behind me. Slow, deliberate. I turned, but saw no one. Only a trail of wet footprints appearing across the wooden floor, leading to a corner of the room. The music box slowed, its melody turning mournful, heavy, almost pleading. Then a whisper close to my ear. He followed me too. I spun around, no one, only the cold, and the footprints, still forming one by one. I fled the cabin, heart pounding like a trapped bird. The forest seemed different, darker, heavier. The trees leaned inward as though listening. Footprints surrounded me, not one trail, but dozens. Some small, some long, some overlapping, as if many had walked this path, but none had returned. The wind carried whispers that sounded almost like voices, lost, longing, echoing through the frozen air. I ran, but the forest followed. Back home, I locked every door, every window, every latch. For a moment, the world was silent again, until the lights flickered. Then footsteps sounded on the roof, slow, heavy, deliberate. Snow sifted down the chimney. The air grew colder. A shadow passed behind the curtains, moving toward the front door. Then, a knock, soft, polite, rhythmic, 3 taps. I didn't open it, I couldn't. The knocking stopped, but the footprints did not. They appeared across the porch, forming rapidly, as if someone was pacing impatiently, back and forth, waiting, watching. At midnight, the lights went out. Every room plunged into darkness except the living room, where the Christmas tree glowed softly with golden warmth. The glass snowflake I had found trembled on its branch, casting shards of blue light against the walls. Then I heard it. A faint creak. I looked down. My breath caught footprints inside the house, leading from the front door to the center of the living room, but none leading out. The air shimmered as though something unseen moved past me. The music box melody began again, but I hadn't brought it home. A whisper curled around my name. Then, a new footprint appeared right beside my foot, fresh, sharp, perfect. Something stood next to me, close enough to touch. The lights flickered, the tree ornaments chimed softly. The glass snowflake glowed brighter, brighter, until it suddenly went dark. And in that darkness, I felt warm breath against my ear. Merry Christmas. For the first time, I wasn't sure if the presence was trying to warn me or trying to come closer. The next morning, the footprints inside my house were gone. The yard was smooth, untouched again, as if nothing had happened, except a second gift box waited under the tree. The tag read, "For next year." And beneath my window, the faintest outline of a single footprint slowly melted under the rising sun. The snow has settled. The footprints have vanished, and yet the forest whispers still linger in the night air. Some mysteries are never meant to be solved. Some shadows waw silently, watching, and the snow remembers. This Christmas, as the snow settled outside, the lights of the Christmas tree danced softly across the room. She stood near the tree, her eyes sparkling with wonder, the glass snowflake pendant catching every flicker of golden light. The warmth of the home embraced her, yet outside, the faintest footprints glimmered in the moonlit snow, trailing off into the forest, silent and mysterious. For a moment, she paused, heart fluttering. Was the presence a lingering warning or a silent invitation? Some mysteries remain unsolved, some shadows wait patiently, and the snow remembers. This Christmas, if you walk alone, listen closely, you might just hear the faintest echo of footsteps that lead nowhere. If this story chilled your imagination, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because the next mystery might be closer than you think.